I'm a medical oncologist in the Bergonier Institute in Bordeaux and the University of Bordeaux, mainly focused on geriatric oncology during the last 25 years, I think. Well, I'm the PI, so the principal investigator of the GerOnTe project. I'm responsible of coordinating all the stakeholders, the partners that do participate in this project. I'm not responsible of some of the tasks, but I'm supposed to make things work. The GerOnTe project is about the management of older multimorbid patients. Well, we define the older as older than 70. According to the World Health Organization, it's 65, but we define it 70, which is the commonly accepted at the international level threshold for all the patients. We focus on multimorbid patients, that are patients that have at least two comorbidities at the same time, including cancer. So that's patients who have cancer and one significant comorbidity associated. That's the first thing. And we are organized to have a patient-centered management, not a disease-centered management, because the problem we have is that management is too much disease-centered with hyper-specialists, and that's not the way to manage this kind of patients, because they have at least two morbidities associated, so we have to take into account these two morbidities at the same time, at the time of management of cancer. So, well, the approach we propose is to center the management on a nurse, an experienced nurse at least. It may be at best an advanced practice nurse, and she is the direct contact to the patient, which does not preclude from the patient to contact directly his physician. But she's a direct contact, so on the daily basis the patient has one contact to declare any symptoms he observes, for example. And then the second role of this nurse is to be sure that all the stakeholders of the management of the patient, all the health professionals, including physicians mainly, all the physicians that can be at the hospital or close to the patient, close to his home, for example. She should be sure that all these health professionals have the same level of information and all the information they need to take decisions for these patients. I think that's very important. And to be sure that it works, the main approach is that we will use a digital app provided by My Patient Space, which is an Irish company, based on a design that has been prepared by Work Package 1, where we define the precise amount of data we need, what we call the minimum data set. That's about cancer, about the way of living of the patients, about geriatric assessment for sure, but also decision making, expectation of survival, quality of life, and so on and so on. The tool is including three tools in one. One is for health professional, and that a dashboard which includes all these elements. That is a summary of what is important to know about this patient, that gives an idea of the patient sum up of the patient. That's the first thing. The second thing which is linked is a dashboard for the nurse, where she can have a follow-up of the different symptoms of the patient that he or she declares. And the second part of the tool is a tool for the patient. The tool for the patient is a collection of patient-reported outcome measures, where the patient is asked to answer questions about symptoms every day, every week, every month, depending on the situation. And so these symptoms will get to the nurse, and the nurse may have an attitude adapted to the symptom observed. We define the thresholds above which it's considered severe or very severe, and this goes to the patient first. It tells him, well, you have declared some significant symptoms, you have to contact your physicians. The second thing, we have a library of advices for the patients for adaptation to the symptoms. If the patient experiences vomiting or diarrhea, we have advices that he can apply on his own, and then some advices for well-being when you are old and you experience any kind of problems that you may experience while you are old. And that's it. We have 2 studies. One that is to demonstrate the benefits in terms of quality of life mainly, but many other factors. But in terms of quality of life mainly, that's a trial, the randomized trial. And there is an implementation study that is covered by the Italian people across 5 countries, 20 centers, where we will observe how these patients, multimorbid patients with cancer, are managed in these 20 centers at the moment, and observe how the GerOnTe care management change the way we see it.
Okay.
Well, the main objective is to improve quality of life of the patients. That's a main point. But the other objective is that we have an increase in the population of older patients across the world. That's really important, and really the health systems of each European country, more than European countries, but I stick on the European countries because that's the focus. The health systems will be overwhelmed by all the patients because, well, they need time, because they will have many complications because of multimorbidity. And it's just absolutely necessary to have a new management system, new care management that will reduce the time that each health professional have to spend on one patient to be sure that the quality of care is optimal.